that you're going to have one of those players miss and free fall to the 8th.
Number 4.
And I think 3-2 is going to be super important. You're really looking for things like quiet quitting or the forward thinking to maybe go along with that game plan. If it's like a full loss streak into finding all of your tempo on stage 4, that's typically what you need to actually stabilize.
Meanwhile, Milo does pick up the heroic grab bag, has the gangplank already, so going to be going towards that line to contest, and with the duplicators, might be able to get there first, but realistically, kind of catches you up against the Stars Are Born, and it's a very similar amount. 3 copies for Stars Are Born, 2 copies for the duplicators.
Being able to break the tempo early for LBTZ, though, would be huge, but, well, doesn't look like it. The Kale 2 and the Zac 2, one of the best early Wraith pairings is going to get the job done. There is a little bit more value in the duplicators, but the Stars Are Born does provide you with more early tempo.
And LBTZ did pick up the Zac from the Stars Are Born, so for sure not going to be playing into Kill Reroll. It's an option as well, although unlikely one.
Gwyn going to be on the generic combat route. This is kind of the line that has been the least successful so far, just going into the Jin Mundo line. And I really want to see one of these teams pull out what Aegis has done in the previous games, or maybe what Citadel has done, which is they play the strong Mundo 2, but then they veer off into the level 8 boards, getting the TF early or the Ashe early.
Gwyn is, of course, the AD Flex all-star player for Weibo Gaming across the entirety of this tournament. Yes, he can play AD reroll lines, but he can also play, of course, a la Cassante, we saw from the first 2 games in this series from him.
A very strong augment for the Juggernauts early on. They get extra power if they're above 50 HP there. So just keeping that in, and it looks like he will be the win streaker for the team. The other hand, taking a look at the rest of these boards, Tianlong going to be in the fast 8 position there. So we have our GP, we have our fast 8, we have our Jin Mundo most likely. Just one more question, what Salpi Mi is going to be playing into. He was the Hull Crusher for now.
Most players need bows on this carousel. Kian is not one of those players. He has picked up a bow from Replication, so 3 bows already for what I assume will be an AP line that Kian will go for in this game.
Taking a look across the board, NCC1 already announcing that he's not going to be into the GP contest, already has the Jewel Gauntlet slammed, so most likely AP fast 8 line coming in once again for the same player.
And I think Milo is pivoting off of the GP line into the Jin Mundo, and it will be Marius with the Calcloss playing for GP. I think this makes a lot of sense. You navigate around the idea of having 2 10 lose streak players for Virtus Pro, with NCC1 already indicating with Patient Study he's playing for that fast 8 AP line. So good adjustment from BP in the stage 2 and in their big picture game plans as well.
The big worry comes in for Marius is if too many GP copies are out of the pool by the time he starts to go for it, that Stars Are Born already taking some. We see when you're late to the punch on the gangplank, if you don't hit on that first roll down to get the 2-star and stabilize when you play it from the loss streak, you will completely fall flat and be out of the game. And this is such a big risk going into this game with Weibo being on match point, but I like to see it out of Virtus Pro. Leave it all on the table, take the big swing, and try and bring yourself back.
Yeah, starting from 0 copies, full loss streaks, it is a very difficult task to then climb back. But for now, they are just going to be aiming for full win streaks. Kian getting triple bows from Replication here. He's still relatively open on which line he'll end up on.
Well, looking to make 10 here at the very least, I have to assume. Yep, does sell one of the Zacs, makes 10, tries to catapult himself back up to 20 gold for the end of this stage 2. An early Recon 2 for Kian can save him a lot of HP going forward.
It's a question if he's going to reforge it, remove the items and give it to the Recon for the full win streak. It's critical for him. He's also fighting Guana, another 100 streaker on the other side.
Could potentially sell a Nico and try and make 20. I'm not sure if that's worth it for his future HP totals if he's able to make a Nico 2 as well, or if that's too expensive for Kian from this position.
Yeah, tough to drop the pair, but being on 4 Protector might just be enough. Going up against NCC1, that should be plenty, seeing as how that's not one of the other win streakers in the lobby. Not the strongest board, anchoring around that Lucian, but Guan on the other side is going to run into Milo, who is on that full loss, so will be easy enough for Guan to hold on to the 5 streak into neutrals.
So we're getting probably the most standard game plans of this entire tournament. A lot of mirror composition, GP, Jin Mundo, and the Sorks all coming out from both sides. And as we've seen across this game plan a lot of times, it is just down to, number one, who can force tempo out of the Sork lines. If they fall too low and they have to roll early, that's usually a big out. And of course, the GP battle at the top.
From Maris here, full econ, 5 loss streak. It was a KO with Midas Touch to try and get just a little bit extra gold, kind of a pseudo GP backliner in that sense now. But the big roll down will come, I assume, on 3-2. Maybe he feels he needs to get under the contesting GP player and roll on 3-1.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a big story of this game because you look at how much health was sacrificed by Virtus.pro, both Milo and Maris going on the full 5 loss, nearly open fort. Maris, in fact, actually open forting down to 68. And yes, Kion held on to a full win streak, but after that, Weibo are the ones who have held on to a lot more health. And usually, the differential after stage 2 is very small, but it's big here.
3 levels to 6, which means that he will be rolling on 3-2. Just going to hold on to the Kaiser for now. Probably try and make that extra loss worth of gold for Kalklaus and for the extra rolls as well, and the 6 loss streak gold.
Yeah, this is playing it a little bit greedy, but I think he's forced into it just to preserve his best win-out potential. If we think about the opposing situation, its Stars Are Born, and there's already a natural GP from the earlier stages, so that's 4 GPs gone already. It's actually a pretty big hill to climb back from.
LBTZ, the mirror match here, only sitting on that 1 Gangplank for now, so hasn't found a Gangplank off of Stars Are Born just yet. Will be a big roll down from both of these players as soon as this fight ends. This is hopefully going to be a loss, actually, for Maris. It would be in his favor, actually, so he prefers to lose this fight to LBTZ.
This is the point where team play doesn't matter. How good are you, Maris? How fast can you roll down, find these gangplanks, and beat the enemy team? Because this is going to be incredibly close.
Big matchup here between Kion and Guan, both of the win-streaking players, one from each team. Kion has been the hero in terms of stage 3 win streaks, the Gnar Luchador procs, but it should be a good enough win for the Janna here. It is. So small win in favor of Kion here, the 6 win streak.
Here comes the GP roll downs. Who can pick their augments fast enough and go straight into this one? Ideally, Mars wants to find GP2 before LBTZ can even hit 1 GP because the Stars Are Born is not used yet.
Rise
Really,
picked up
Rise
on 6.
pair, insane on 6, but no GPs yet is the bigger problem here.
Yeah, still hitting 0, finds Kabuko, just trying to push through, not actually finding anything. The roll down on the other side from LBTZ, not finding a gangplank just yet either, but still a lot more gold to roll. Finds a rise of his own, still pushing. There's the gangplank. 2-star comes online, and there's still nothing from the side of Maris. He's pushed so deep, but is going to be able to find the Cassante and the Akali, so could pivot out, but that will leave the door wide open for LBTZ to be an uncontested gangplank once again. And Clement, that has not worked out for anyone on this Championship Friday.
And Maris has already slammed a Guinsus. He doesn't have anywhere to go with that item currently in the all-out composition. So this is a very suboptimal roll down. I was surprised Salpimi took so long to pick his artifact, went into the roll, and still hit it regardless.
Tragedy strikes already on this roll down for Maris. 20 gold still to maybe have a re-roll down now on this next round, but all in all, a big problem. Salpimi with a very early Yuumi pickup here as well.
Immediately after, Maris runs into Kion, breaks both the loss and the win streak for Virtus.pro. Definitely not what they're wanting at this point, especially after losing so much gold, trying to find Gangplank and seeing none.
Salpimi very happy to just play around this Yuumi board. This is what I think Weibo Gaming has been doing so much better than the side of Virtus.pro, is just finding ways to stabilize on stage 3, playing around the random 4 costs.
GP pair has been found now for Maris, but is it too little too late? You misstretch the arms as well. You go for the double strike here on the GP. Re-rolling on this stage, actually, not waiting until stage 4, and misses again, unfortunately, on this GP.
Yeah, with 58 HP, I feel like he has to do so. And you know, this is the problem when you are kind of the only designated GP player. You have to slam the items, and if you don't hit, you're stuck in a very tough situation.
Ooh, and Kion has found an early Cassante. Maybe this is why there wasn't even consideration for there to be a pivot from the GP player. And this could be that early Cassante that we saw from Guan in Game 2 that really took over Stage 3.
Having good items, did hit the all-out. Not going to win against Maris. Maris going to be able to start farming a little bit of gold to come back with this Gangplank. Rolling so deep, only finding the pair. Needs to just get this upgrade. Maybe a Gangplank will show up on the carousel, bail him out, but not going to happen this time. No premium for costs.
Yeah, Tianlong is cooking a little bit. We're seeing Portable Forge, Prowler's Claw on a Darius 1 right now. Could this be the mythical Prowler's Claw Cassante All Out that I have heard rumors about?
It sounds absolutely disgusting. I'm all down for it. He's in the Fast 8 route. What I think is really interesting is Milo actually ditched the Jin Mundo and said, you know what, I'm going to go straight for the Cassante. We've seen the tournament stats. Jin Mundo not doing so hot right now. And with that, he could also contest Tianlong, maybe slow him down a little bit.
Mara's going to continue the rolls, but not finding the Gangplank. Full of these Kabukos, but 5 copies of Kabuko and only 2 Gangplanks.
Probably have to sell a copy of Rise here. I think making Rise 2 is nowhere near priority in this game. Looking at the current spot, looking at the GP 1 still on your board.
And this is one of those situations where if I'm Weibo Gaming, I'm willing to just play unconventional to just run you out the gym. I know you're low rolling across the board. Milo, Mars, and NCC1 all at the bottom right here. So there's just so many different ways that Weibo Gaming can choose to close out this game.
Oh, unconventional, we got you. Darius is popping around with the Prowler's Claw.
Where did he go, though? He's just...
Oh, it disappeared. Cassante turned around and said, wow.
When a unit disappears from your board when you're facing Cassante, most of the times it means that Cassante killed it in one hit.
I think Tianlong might have been playing a little bit too flex today, if I'm being completely honest. Branching out, Wraith boards.
Well, here once again we have NCC1 6 loss streak, so resetting the loss streak, going down to 48. Going towards that fast 8 track once again. We've seen a lot of misses from NCC1 in this grand final. Will this be the time the luck turns around? He hits big and can be a win-out player for his team.
I think this current loss streak is, of course, part of the plan. He has patient study. He is going to be patiently waiting until we see that roll down on 4-1. That being said, it's a situation where you have less agency as a player. If you hit, great. If you don't, there's not much you can do to bounce back unless you're rolling down flexibly for multiple comps. It hasn't usually been the case. It's been usually either Prodigies or Sorcerer, and the specific itemization for either of those carries means you can't really roll for both in most cases.
And I like this pivot from Guan. He was originally playing the Mundo as well. Now that he sees NCC1 is going for the Sorks, he's going to contest on the AP 4-cost line. He knows that VP, they're losing so much HP. If you just deny, that is considered a win.
Been the target griefing strategy. Once they sense a weak link on the opposing team, they attack it with all of their might in the end of stage 3 and the start of stage 4.
In game 2, it didn't pan out. Even though they sent NCC1 in last place, they couldn't cap out and they end up falling down.
One Karma has finally been found. You hopefully want to find the Karma too, especially before your opponents on Weibo Gaming can roll and take more Karmas from the pool. And you have an Edge of Night as well.
Yeah, he's an optimist. He knows he's going to hit the Gwen. I was like, I'm not so sure about that one. There's a lot of good tank items that could be made to buff up that front line. But he's looking for the ultimate cash out. He's going to have to do that. Oh,
and there it is!
The Gwen!
The aura coming out from NCC1. He's coming back into the game when it matters most. Can he also hit the Karma too? That is the bigger question.
Zabram in the shop as well.
It hasn't worked out this entire day, but maybe NCC1, this fast 8 strategy for the first time, when it matters most, is going to stabilize.
Backs against the wall. Gwen shows up. Edge of Night already there. NCC1 having perfect items for the Karma. All 1-star, no pairs.
Facing Milo, Milo is buying him some time, not putting any of the items onto the Cassante or the Jarvan, and has not rolled yet as well. So surely this should be a win here for NCC1. Perfect items on the Karma, will have a chance to rejuice on this round and then hopefully finish off this roll down. Or maybe try and go 9. He does have Slam in. Maybe he thinks he has to play for a fast line angle with just the Braum and the Gwen he's picked up.
Sometimes you just have to believe. Trust the process. It hasn't worked game 1, game 2, or game 3, but now on the cusp of everything, game 4, they try it again.
He's been luck stacking. Come on, there's 3 games in a row where he didn't hit or didn't high roll it heavily, and this time around finds that Gwen straight away, and now has the track to be able to find that first place in this game and contest.
Reinforcement is big for Kian. He immediately buys the Cassante here to help out his front line, now hoping to find a Yuumi or a Seraphine. There's the first Yuumi for Kian, has a full bench worth of gold. We'll see if he sells anything to try and finish off his 2-star carry. Finds a Seraphine as well early on.
Virtus.pro hitting all of the priority 5 costs for their compositions. Prodigy getting the Seraphine, Sorcerers finding the Gwen.
Both Milo and Kian have their Cassante 2 already, so that's sorted. If there's anyone else from Weibo Gaming trying to go for a Cassante, it'll be very difficult to find with 6 copies already out of the pool.
Well, we had that Prowler's Cassante maybe that would maybe not going to come to fruition this time. Might have to be a Volibear.
Xianglang might think, what about me?
So for Kian, no Garen saved right here, so I was actually kind of surprised he used the reinforcement on the Cassante immediately.
I agree.
Had a lot of gold, so maybe should have rolled for the Leona instead. There's no additional traits here, only the Protector.
Unless Tianlong is trying to play for the Cassante Prowlers, and you know your teammate already has his Cassante, so it could be a good strategic move to go for the Cassante instead, but it will be a loss here against his team and against Milo. And looking at the HP totals, it is not looking good for VP. It's just already quite low, and looking at LBTZ once again streaking in stage 4, 74 HP. Guan sitting now on 70.
Yeah, and Sao Pimi actually hitting the Yuumi, holding an extra copy, trying to deny, has found only a single copy of Leona, but has one in the shop to pair that up. So there is a bit of a better hit for the Prodigy, though is missing away from the Seraphine, as we do have a Lee Sin with the Prowlers.
It was Cassante, and this is actually a really good strategic play from VP, forcing Tianlong to instead itemize this Lee Sin. Does fit in, of course, with the Executioner with the Akali. We'll see if this will be enough to stay alive.
I wonder how it works with Prowlers plus Executioner Lee Sin, because he flies to the lowest health target in 3 range. Maybe that is a range extension into the backline. Haven't played with this exact combo quite yet.
I think he might be stuck here for a while.
Ooh. Yeah, the damage trying to come through, but there's no pen to get through that tank. Finally, it will proc. But, I mean, I suppose an upgraded Lee Sin with this could get pretty nasty. The question is can you find the 2-star?
Level 8, 0 gold. Yuumi on the carousel is huge.
Oh, it's not in the right direction, though. It's moving away from NCC1, and Tianlong knows about it, instantly taken away from the carousel.
Yep, Gwen denied, but the Yuumi still available. Maris
Has to deny it from Salpimi.
doesn't.
Ooh.
Lets him have
Doesn't
it.
get it. Oh, it's already a Yuumi 2, actually. So Salpimi is the one that thinks that he has to deny it. It was just bodyguard duty from Maris trying to deflect the idea that maybe he wanted it, forcing Salpimi to take it instead.
Neither of the GP players have hit so far, so I think this game is still wide open on the boards. NCC1 just 1 hit away from stabilizing.
Notably, Mars finding the Kabuko 3. Maybe that can help give some more time, give some more space to get towards this upgraded Gangplank, but only 4 copies. Having the Mentors online, Maris can at least potentially try and prevent the last place, but only 1 Gangplank away for LBTZ. So far ahead on this Mentors track, having very good augments to go alongside it, and still 74 HP at the top of the tables.
Full level ahead of his opponent, 1 off GP. You have to assume that LBTZ will win this race. It's just now about how much the fight RNG can go into VP's way. If they can make this GP3 fight amongst each other, that would be the best scenario for them, and hopefully to come back in the game.
HP traded here, a small win it looks like for the Yuumi board, so really well calculated from Weibo Gaming. NCC1 with a loss is now going to be sitting on 18 HP, a loss for Maris as well. Not a good round for Virtus.pro as a whole. You have to imagine Tianlong will be free-falling, but he just got a win with that Lee Sin with Prowler's Claw, weirdly enough.
Yeah, the big thing here is Kian and Milo continuing to hold on to their HP. The gap is not very large between VP and Weibo Gaming, but the question is can NCC1 or Mars be able to stabilize LBTZ so close to hitting everything and look for that first place. So VP needs to avoid the 8th at all costs. They need to try and set up conditions where they can win without a first.
Also picked up Teacher's Council as that final augment, so just a really insane setup for this GP strategy overall. NCC1, this is the big test. Can he survive really the rest of this stage 4, the start of the stage 5? He's facing Maris, so once again GP versus Karma. The Karma damage is not quite able to do enough. The Edge of Night has just procced on the GP, but GP is still alive, and NCC1 is down to 1 life. We've seen this before, time and time again this series. Can NCC1 clutch up and come back in the standings?
The thing is NCC1 is so close to having a board that could win out, but LBTZ is going to find the Gangplank 3. And the question is NCC1 has to find enough to be able to beat this board. It can't just be that he beats everyone else. He has to beat what could be the best board in the game. Karma 2 alone, maybe not going to get there. If he can find the Gwen upgrade, suddenly we may be in business.
Does the rest of Virtus Pro want to sack for NCC1? Do they want to sacrifice their HP to try and salvage a spot from NCC1? Or do they give up? Do they say, hey, you're too far behind, your HP is already too low, there's already a Grim Reaper that when you face him, you might be losing anyway in terms of the GP3 that was just hit from LBTZ. So it's a tough position to be in for Virtus Pro already in this game 4.
I think they have to try and keep him alive. That one placement is so important, especially when Tianlong also has a fairly weak board. Right now, it's just 2 live versus 1, even though there's a 14 HP difference. It's very possible for the fight RNG to go in VP's way. At least this round, NCC will likely face mercy from his teammates.
Stretchy Arms not found. The only silver lining here for Virtus Pro in terms of what LBTZ has been able to assemble with this board. Yasuo 3 just hit 1 off Udyr 3 as well.
Keon ends up losing around, the HP looking very tough. Milo is going to sack for NCC1. We do have the upgrade for the Karma and 3 items for this Gwen. The front line not fully upgraded, but the Swain having some solid items. Question is it enough, especially to hold out and maybe send Tianlong in 8th place?
NCC1 is trying to go level 9. We're seeing he's almost there thanks to the slam-in. He has to try and win one more round, it looks like. Also is on the line for finding a Braum 2, for finding a Gwen 2. So NCC1 risking it all to try and find that cap. No, he does
sold
sell
the Braum so he can go 9.
And he adds
Garen?
Garen, 1.
Oh, okay, that's Bastion. That's actually... Oh, no, he already has Bastion.
Let's just pretend it's Schoolyard Justice.
Oh, okay. A bit of a forceful ad, to be honest, but any bit really does help here. And Tianlong also getting the Lee Sins denied away from him. Very rare to see that one. Can he survive? He's down to 9 HP. This is the battle for 8th.
He finds LBTZ, who is able to sack for Tianlong. They're trying to send NCC1 8th for the 3rd time in the grand finals, but the upgrade for the Karma might be there. Look at the Yuumi. Will she turn towards Karma soon enough? Yes, she will. She takes out the Karma. Not enough. NCC1 goes down at the same time as Tianlong. But who will take the 8th? It's Tianlong.
GP3, no items, and Tianlong still took the bigger loss with an unupgraded Lee Sin holding that Prowler's Claw. The game plan did not work out because of the Cassante hold from Virtus Pro against Tianlong. And all of a sudden, NCC1 has once again done his job, outplaced one of the players from Weibo Gaming.
But they needed more for him. They needed him to be the win out, the complete win out for this game. He was so close, just hit level 9, had the 5 cost necessary, had the upgrade on the Karma. The rest of Virtus Pro, you look at the health bars, they're not in a great position against the likes of Weibo. They have to bring this back as we see the non-upgraded Gangplank. Yes, he's got the Kabuko, but is it enough to deal the damage to Weibo?
It might be too much damage to Keon, and he's still stuck on Yuumi 1. This is just looking so dire. Outside of Keon and Maris, only Milo has a steady board.
It's a massive loss. It will, of course, not be a beat, but he's definitely going to be down to 1 life now. Milo also down to 1 life. Maris also down to 1 life. Weibo Gaming, they're sending a statement in what could be the final game of the series, the final game of this tournament. A dominant start, a dominant finish.
Weibo marching towards victory at the Esports World Cup, trying to bring that plate home to CN, just like the Wolves did 1 year ago.
28 HP remaining on the side of Virtus.pro. That is all that is saving them from defeat here. They still need to hit the GP3. They still need the Yumi's 2s to come online, or else it's all over.
Depending on the matchups, this could be it. This next round could decide the outcome of this tournament if 2 players from Virtus.pro get knocked out in the bottom 4 alongside NTC1.
Yumi is found, but he has to sell something to actually play it onto his board.
He has nothing he can. He has to win one fight to get this Yumi online. And I don't know what boards he can actually beat. Goes up against Guan. That's an upgraded Karma, an upgraded Jarvan.
And it's Milo versus Maris, so we have to get a win from Kion here. It's the only way.
Kion does not win. That will just be the end of Virtus.pro. And Guan is beginning the march for Weibo Gaming. Takes down Kion. On the other side, it is Virtus.pro versus Virtus.pro. Maris holds on just a little bit longer. It is not quite over yet.
The one healthiest player from VP took the smallest hit possible to guarantee this survives for at least one more round, but look at the HP totals. Guan on 47, Salpimi on 26, LBTZ on 25, and almost single-digit numbers for the 2 remaining players for Virtus.pro.
And who's going to win out? Who is going to win for Virtus.pro? They, let alone survive into the top 4 and prevent the blowout at the end of this series.
They both have to win this next fight. That's the first mission on this checklist.
Oh, and I think there were items removed there from Guan. That is going to be an item.
But Maris runs into LBTZ. The Gangplank makes it to the back line already, starting the march for Weibo once again. It starts with Salpimi. It's finished by LBTZ, and Weibo Gaming are the winners of TFT at the Esports World Cup.
Once again, CN comes out ahead of the APAC versus CN matchup right there, claiming glory for their squad. This was a team that had all of their members go to TAC Round.